Hello and welcome to datingwebsites.org. My name is Kat Richter, and this week I'll be answering a question from one of our bloggers, Maria Burnham. Maria is a hairstylist and writer who lives in Brooklyn. She writes, "Whenever I come across a profile I'm interested in, I send a message right away before I chicken out or forget. I think winking or rating someone 4 or 5 stars is a cop-out, and I like how a personal message shows a little initiative. I even take the time to peruse the details on the profile so that I can personalize the message even more, making it obvious that I did more than just screen the photos. After I transcribe a brief but witty message, I usually end it with a question in an effort to engage in a two-way conversation. I usually end with, 'Anyway, how was your weekend?' Up until recently, I thought that was a good segue. But then I had a girl tell me that she thought any stranger asking about how her weekend was made her feel awkward and also seemed lame. Is there a better question I can ask? Or should I just type out my message and not include a question and assume that the recipient will engage in a conversation nonetheless?" Well, Maria, here's my answer to your question. In the online dating community, the sort of general rules are that if you receive a message from someone, they are looking for a response, and obviously it's up to you whether or not to grant that response, but I would urge you not to stress about coming up with a specific question simply to engage in further conversation, because sending a message is an indicator of that. That said, I always used a question when I was in the middle of my Great Date experiment, and I would always ask, "Do you have any fun plans for the weekend?" I felt that that was a good way to sort of indicate that I was interested in meeting the person, be a little bit flirty without, seeming over the top, and also show that I was interested in getting the relationship offline and into the real world as soon as possible, which I think is crucial when it comes to online dating. So I think that your icebreaker isn't bad as it stands currently. It may seem a bit awkward to some and overly personal, so if you are still concerned about that, I would encourage you to think of a different question based on, all of the information that you've read about in your profile. You can ask, I'd love to hear more about your trip to Portugal, or tell me more about, the art museum where you work, or something to that extent. So you can make it personal without seeming creepy personal and wanting to know, where were you last weekend? So again, I would just encourage you to, keep doing what you're doing and try to initiate conversation through a question, but make it something more about what you've read about them as opposed to, sounding like you're doing a background check and want to know what they were up to. So, good luck and happy dating.